Andy here. Today, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Toastmasters, I will be asking your conceding indulgence as I shall be speaking about myself as a hopeless romantic and as a sentimental disciple of love. For I will be sharing some of my previous pursuits for romance and my chase for affection. Which is why, if you will allow me, I'm going to dedicate this to all the girls I loved before. You see, girl number one was my childhood classmate. She was my crush for such a long time. We went to school together. And she was so kind. She was so demure. She was so soft-spoken. And she may not have the beauty that can actually cause Napoleon's battalion to fall in Waterloo, but she has the heart so captivating and so enchanting that even the moon could not help but found itself irresistibly attracted to the gravitational pull of the earth. You see, I courted girl number one since my elementary days until I reached my freshman years in college. In fact, my first date was with her, thanks to the generosity of my uncle who was a willing sponsor. You see, at a very young age, I already had the audacity of the spirit and the boldness of the heart to ask for parental blessings. Which, by the way, I easily got because even the parents, no one understand the sincerity of my heart. And I would later on use this as a legitimate weapon in order to devour and in order to pursue the woman until she would say yes. But despite of the good intentions, despite of the approval, I suddenly gave up. Because after too many years of courtship, I realized that it was as though I'm trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And so I gave up. But the day when I raised my white flag was also the same day when she admitted and confessed that the feeling was mutual. But it was already too late because I have already found a new lily in the valley. Girl number two. Girl number two was the classmate of girl number one. She was so beautiful. And she put the blue back in the sky. There were colors everywhere. And mind you, she was once considered as one of the most beautiful ladies in our province. And you could not blame me for being easily captivated by her. Because not only does she look good in wearing mini skirt, she looks perfect in bikinis. And since we were classmates in college algebra, it was supposed to be my responsibility, and as a show-off, I would tell to the class how easy it was on my part to solve for X and to find Y, so that she can be impressed. At that time, I was already the campus editor of our campus publication. And just so that I can put her as part of our team, I lobbied for her entry as one of the members of the editorial staff as a junior writer. You see, I am actually a secret lover rather than a vocal admirer. So I would choose to settle in the language of prose and poetry. I remember even writing a one-page article in our campus tabloid and writing a 15-stanza poem proclaiming the gospel throughout the 5,000 student campus just so that I will be able to declare that I was enamored by her. But despite of the good intentions, despite of those pursuits, I realized that she was already on a steady relationship for 2 years. And so I have to let her go. And then she sent me this text message and I would just laugh it at now when she would just tell me, but we can still be friends, is it? And then I tell myself, this woman is so beautiful, but she doesn't know how to use the auxiliary verb at the tag question. But of course, you understand my plight. I have already asked the mercies of the heaven for making such impolite observation. Now, after that misadventure, I was introduced to girl number 3, who was a campus beauty title holder. Wow. She was an excellent singer, and she was a graceful dancer. Her voice suits the deepest of the veins, and her sways and her steps can really lure you to the rhythm. We eventually got close. The feeling was mutual. It was so good. We were together. We dined at the fancy restaurants in the city. And at that time, unlimited calls and text messages were not yet so prevalent. So we end up conversing each other over the telephone. No wonder our bills went unusually high to the utter disbelief of my mother. But the things were going right for us. But then I realized this flame and this passion should not go on. Because she was so good. She was so sexy that I was already afraid I might sin and fall from the grace of the Lord. And so we eventually just became friends. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in all these pursuits, I realized, and it dawned upon me, that the stinging indictment of Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that no matter what we think, speak, or do, we are all bankrupt without love. Because man has been designed and created to have a suitable partner, to have a helper. But then, amidst all this realization, it dawned also upon me that the true affection comes not just when the heart kicks in, when the eyes are confronted by a beautiful lady, but true affection really comes when we begin to realize how important it is to establish a romance with the one who authored life and who fashioned the universe. Now, I am Atty. Patrick Mabbagu, now a new member of the Toastmasters. I am still a hopeless romantic, but now I am a lover of Christ. Thank you very much.